Okay, let's do a little photography. I'll just grab my films from the fridge. Fuck! Shit! Oh, fuck! Next up, I selected a roll of film. Now, I had lots of nice film, but I went for this roll of out-of-date Kodak colour. I think it's Ultramax. ISO 200 maybe. I like out-of-date things. That's how I get all my medication. Now today we're trying out this camera. It's the Canon Epoca here in Europe, but elsewhere it was called the Photura. But in Japan it was called the AutoBoy Jet. Big miss there, Canon. Why isn't it called that everywhere? That's amazing. Just a note, that battery is a 2CR5 and you can still buy them, but they're obscure, and cameras from this era, they all take different batteries. They all look similar, but they're not quite the same. It's a hellscape, not a good thing. In the 90s, when this camera was made, everyone had mastered auto-loading film. You pop in a roll, you lay it across the back, you shut it and it loads. Canon tried something a bit different here because of the form factor. It's fiddly, it doesn't work, it's inconsistent. Canon shit the bed on this one. Now, I live in the northeast of England, in Stockton-on-Tees, which has had a bit of a hard rap. It's not known as the prettiest or wealthiest or most successful places in England. However, this part of the river was a polluted, unpleasant place to be a few years ago, and they've thrown in some wild seed, put a path along there, and it's a great place to come and juxtapose industry and nature and take some great photography. So hats off to the council for that one. Okay, I'm going to come to the defence of the camera here. The film is very out of date, which is why it's so grainy and why it has that brown hue. I was able to touch up the photos here like I did with your mum. The next few shots were quite challenging in terms of light and autofocus, but the camera does a really good job with both, so I think the internals of the camera are strong. On another note, hats off to this guy who bought a jet ski in Teesside, a place where it rains about 363 days a year and rarely gets above 10 degrees. You are loving life, mate, and I'm loving your work. Along the path, it had become quite overgrown. And amongst the overgrown bush, there was a little red tower peeking out, which I managed to capture. Walking along this path, I found this prime dogging location, and from there you can see Teesside's industrial heritage. There's a folk song about working in the chemical industry round here that goes, "For every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death, but you go." What an absolutely terrifying thought. In truth, the chemical industry is much cleaner these days and the nature doesn't seem to mind. You sometimes see seals on this river, which is pretty cool. I didn't see that today, I just saw this factory jizzing black smoke into the sky. Oh well. Further along the path I saw this hill and I thought it might offer better views of the things going on around me. So I marched up there and literally spent the next 10 minutes wheezing. Because I'm over 40 now, I like trains, so I was able to use the wide angle to capture these trains and the shopping centre that ripped the heart out of our local area. Then I was able to spin round and zoom right in like your dad does when he's making films with your mum. In the other direction we have the A19 flyover, a road so dangerous that statistically 1 in 3 people will die in a fiery wreck. Another way in which Teesside tops the National League tables. Making this video I realised just how many unusual bridges we have. Maybe Teesside should rebrand as some kind of Disneyland for fucking bridges. Around the corner I found Crackhead Thomas the Tank Engine and I thought there was a cool shot to be had here, so I took this little number. Another thing that really impressed me on this walk was the sheer quality of the graffiti in the area. Hats off to the following people: Reets, Eskzv, Werpke, Chunk, Spajik and LF. Also, hats off to this guy who rode past on his bike and called me Camera Bender. So to sum up, the Canon Epoca is a fun camera. It should have been called the AutoBoy everywhere. It's got good ergonomics. It's got some fun little features like this pop-out diffuser flash cap combination. It's got a really good zoom range, 35 to 105 millimeters. The autofocus and the metering seems good. And as a little binky bonus, it's got this little top-down viewfinder that I'm struggling to film, but it's there, I promise. You can view from the top or from the back. In terms of extra controls, it's got some flash, red eye and continuous shooting modes, but you can't change the ISO, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. The downside is that form and function makes it look like a camcorder, which gives proper sex offender vibes when you're out shooting with it. And the other thing is, it doesn't really offer things above other cameras of a similar size. It is cheap though, so get one, have some fun, and come and enjoy my other films and videos, please. Thank you!